Hello! Today we are going to be taking a look at introduction video to my universal power system project that will allow me to power my small electronics that are in 12 and 24 volt system in virtually any condition that could be in field, during camping, during hiking, or in case of emergency from multiple different power sources that I'm using alone today. So for example, this could be a totally civilian rich monkey power bank called Volt, just like this, with a cigarette lighter output that you've got here. Two military batteries, the older generation nickel metal hydride, to the latest with very good high density lithium ion cells. Following with military batteries for PR4G radios that are presenting like this. The whole idea of this system is when I will be carrying a radio that is using PR4G batteries, then I will be having a spare batteries and I will be able to power my electronics from them. For example, when I will have a Harris radio, then I could use one of those. And for like a general hiking, I can use battery bank like this, which is extremely nice and do not require a special charger. All those batteries that I've got here looks like a lot, but in reality it is just a fraction of something that I'm using every single day. And when I'm adding new devices to my pool, I need to make a decision. Do I want to, for example, leave a cigarette lighter plug and use it with power bank like this, or do I want to convert it for my military battery, and then I have to make decision, do I want this connector or that one? So it is mess, but of course it is not all. So for example, I've got this battery bank and it's being ended up with Anderson power pole. And when I'm going to be grabbing my soldering iron, here is my portable soldering iron, then I can attach it here, just like that, and I can use it in field. But as you can see, I'm limited to only that battery because I've got this plug. The biggest weakness of this system that I have to admit is that it is working fine as long I'm being operator because I created it and I fully understand that, for example, this soldering iron require that battery. But this is not something that I can hand out to other people and expect them to operate it without any training. And this is our goal. Our goal is going to be creating a universal system that anyone can grab, can take out from bag, and operated without me being here. All those batteries that you can see here were field tested by me. I use them in different climate condition, in like a full sun or in total winter. I abused them by overcurrent. I was powering like a Kodan HF radio from them. I were powering like a car kettle and boiling water or using frying pan. Absolutely worked great without any issue. This is not something that I purchased yesterday. You can see like videos from couple years ago. They were present, they are working great and I very enjoy them. Let's take a look at those two guys because they are the most exciting, the BB2590 and the older BB390. And it is very important to maintain them because they are going to be very good for older radios. So use them, cycle them, keep them working. They are going to be very expensive because they've got lower voltage and will not burn devices that were not designed to be working with higher voltages. Here you've got like a sticker, do not use in Javelin. And that's because the power unit inside that the launcher do not support the 16.8 volt. It will burn, so you have to be aware. If you've got them, cycle them, take a good care. One day they are going to be very expensive. Good guy. So how I'm tapping power from this military connector? you can purchase right now online from like a genuine military store. You can order this type of connector, but it is more expensive, that connector alone, that purchase in surplus store brand new PRC148 battery eliminator. And you can check my other videos. On one of the video I'm unboxing the battery eliminator, and what I was doing, I was cutting the plug to the rest that go toward the radio, and I was sourcing that connector very cheaply. And here I put XLR, and here is one of the part that I'm telling you that I've got a problem, because I know that when I plug it here, on that socket I will have got 24 volt, but most likely you would assume that it is going to be a 12 volt. But yes, this is also 24 volt socket, and you can purchase devices that got the same big connector wire for 24 volts. So you can get like a kettle that will be using that plug and will require 24 volt, not a 12 volt. So yeah, it can be catching. Despite of this connector being able to deliver high current and working great, I've got a very big issue with them, and that is they are not locking into your battery. So imagine that I've got tablet like this, and I would like to power it in field. So I've got this battery in my backpack, and here I would like to attach myself to like a big constantly power. So we go like this. Then if you are like hiking, walking, this is going to be going like this, and it's going to be unplugging. And when it's going to be unplugging, on that pin, you can see that it is going to be starting sparking and melting. You can see that we've got like a burn mark here. You can see this, a burn mark from being undone, just from hiking and moving. For stationary application, it is working fine, but for moving, absolutely not. Forget about it. Because of that, for our new power system, we are not going to be using this type of connector. And couple videos back, I started to purchasing those. And you can check my full video when I'm tearing them apart. And you can buy it right now from China. They are great. I field tested. They are field proven by me. And I overcurrent them. Sun, winter, working just fine. And the biggest advantage they've got, that here we've got those locating pins. They go like this. We've got this Velcro. They are being called like a top cap. Here you create like a tension, and you've got it. And it's not moving anywhere, will not unplug. You can, as much as you want, you can wiggle them. They will stay in place. So I purchased 2 of those for our upcoming project. So let me mount it so you can see how it's presenting. So we go here, our top cap, like that. This Velcro was included. We know for a fact they are working absolutely amazing, but there is one massive problem with them, and that massive problem is our XT60 output. And don't get me wrong, the XT60 is absolutely a beautiful, amazing connector. The problem is, it is joining together our 2 independent batteries that are being inside of that one. Here we've got 2 independent 12 volt section, and we are joining them in this adapter in parallel. So I can only source from this battery 12 volt. And in compare, in this adapter, I've got here access to 2 independent sections, and I can power 24 volt devices and 12 volt. I can make that decision. Here, they make it for me. But absolutely fear not, because we can use it as great advantage while creating our universal power system. So we can grab cables like this. Here you can see the model number. And on that end, we've got absolutely beautiful factory sealed XT60 female plug. And that female plug goes here. As you can see, in a perfect way. They are great. They are not undoing. They are really like a good plugs used in a RC community for like drones and other remote control devices. They are proven to be working. So yeah, this is a good one. And we can grab the other one here. Just imagine that we cut those two wires and at the end we attach military 4-pin plug. That way we will be able to tap 24 volt from those two batteries or just 12 volt from one of them. So it's going to be a really universal solution. So this is what I'm planning to do. Exactly the same thing we can do with our civilian batteries. And I'm going to be using those cigarette lighter plug that are locking in place by use of that special screw. So we could put it in. We can screw it to secure it. Just like that. Prevent from accidental disconnect. And it's going to be nicely converting them into a military universal connector. So this is the plan for the civilian, and we will see how it's going to be working. Then for my batteries that are being used on PR4G radios, I purchased this special adapter. It was very expensive. It is from company called Brandtronics, and here you've got the model number. In a normal mode of operation, this goes into charger, but not the soldier portable charger that you can see on my video, but for the one designed for European Union, and most likely there is just like a firmware difference because it's looking exactly the same, but it do not work with the SPC. So here you've got those pins, and inside you can basically solder your own high current wire, and then the only thing to do is to attach it like this, and you go like this, just like that. As you can see, it is fitting perfectly. On its own, it's making a very nice connection, but here I would glue little piece of Velcro that will go around the battery, and most likely we could call it a day. We are going to be cutting this, we are going to be swapping wire for the higher gauge, and our PR4G batteries are going to be working with my universal power system. Now you will be able to see what kind of absolutely amazing connectors I managed to find on the Aliexpress. And yes, this is not a genuine Amphenol, but they are looking like a one-to-one copy, and I will show you that in a second. Do not pay attention to size because you can go with the smaller one or with bigger one if you've got like a bigger project. I decide this is going to be perfect fit for a very good reason, and you will see that in a second. So it is made out of metal. All pins are being labeled in front and on the back. Here we've got our soldering point, so it is absolutely amazing and lovely to work. So you will go with like a pin A to pin A, and you can create a connection inside like a junction box. Here we've got a rubber gasket. It is great because the hole that you have to cut is made out of like a round, not square, so you can use like a step drill bit, and it is very simple to work. And then you just drill a 4-hole and add a screw. So very good, highly recommend you that. As you can see, I've got male and female. On one of them we've got our pins exposed, on another we've got them cover, and we are making design decision that our power input on all devices, all distribution blocks will always have those pins exposed. So if we drop something metal and we create short, they are not energized, and those are going to be carrying our power. So here we've got no possibility to accidentally short them. And let's see our corresponding plug. Our plug is presenting like this. Just take a look. Here we've got a rubber element. Here we can grip. It is made out of metal. And it is presenting really well. And let me show you a real military connector of that system. This is a genuine cable from the brand Tronics, the soldier portable charger. And do not pay attention to the sizing, because this is the bigger size and you can order them from the Aliexpress. I chose the wrong one. Let me present you that guy. Okay, so as you can see, they are looking exactly the same. We've got the same design. Here we've got our collar. Here we've got our screw. And here we've got our element for catching the wire. So this is how they are presenting, and in my personal opinion, this is really great copy. And forget the size difference, because you can order the bigger one if you need. So let's take a look how to disassemble it. This part you can remove, and here we've got our strain relief, and it's also acting as a gasket, because when you screw this down, it is pressing that rubber element and it is creating a seal. So we go like this, but that part is being undone for soldering, and as you can see, now you've got a beautiful access to the pins. Here we've got another seal, and this you can disassemble just like that, and here we've got another gasket. So you take a look at this and you honestly tell me how it's presenting, because in my personal opinion it's looking pretty good. Let's take a look how they made together. So here we've got our female, our male. We go like this and we nicely screw them down. Just take a look how beautiful it's presenting. Yeah, it is really great. And here we've got the opposite. So this is going to be, for example, my soldering iron, and I will be able to nicely screw it just like that. This is going to be nice universal power system. But question is, why I go with this size if I could go with the smaller one? And the answer for your tough question lies in the Aliexpress. In this item, let's take a look what we've got here. And here we've got a waterproof switch. Just take a look how beautiful this guy is presenting. Just take a look. And very important thing, you can order one with a glowing indicator, so you will know that you are energized. But I decided to go with the lighter discipline and go with a plain black without any illumination. But you are welcome to get a one that's got a indicator. It is really good quality. As you can see, we've got that nice plastic box. Here we've got a seal. This is a heavy duty switch. It was rated, I believe, 32 amps, so it's going to be more than enough. So with our double pole, single throw, we will be able to switch our two batteries independently, so they are going to be nicely de-energized. As you can see, we've got a really nice beefy gasket, and it is presenting like this. It is not too small, not too big. I would say a perfect size. And now the magic is happening, because when you undo it, like I need pliers to do that, but the hole that we've got cut here for that element is the exact match for our connector. So with a minimal effort, we can wire it. So how this system is going to be presenting in ideal world? Our two military batteries are going to be connected into that plug. And as you can see, we've got 4 pins for 2 independent batteries. And they are going to be using the female one, so nothing metal will short it. And it's going to be screw it here to our switch. So for example, if our device like kettle or heating element do not have cold start, then we are not going to be making any burning while connecting any spark. We are nicely touching it while being disconnected, and then just flick switch, and that's all. If we would like to swap the battery because it's going to be discharged, then we flick it off and we can do our manipulation. And on this side we are going to be having our female that is going to be also prevented from any short in exactly that location. And for example, here we are going to be having our soldering iron that we can nicely attach here, and it's going to be working fine. Because we've constantly got access to our 4 pins, and that's mean to our 2 independent battery, we can wire our 12-volt device to just use 2 pins, or if we are having 24-volt device, we can wire them in series in the plug, so the end device will like make decision what kind of voltage do I need, and it's going to be really universal. And that's because you cannot connect anything bad. The 12-volt, 24-volt will have exactly the same plug, no place for any mistakes. It will only go one way, and the one way it's going to be working. So this is like a very basic setup. And why this system is going to be universal? That's because we will be able to grab those adapters, we will be able to plug them in. Here we will have the same plug, and we can attach it to our input with like a minimal effort. So no matter what kind of power source I want to use, I can wire it. So it's going to be really great. So this could be the absolutely minimal setup. Single battery connected to our switch to 12-volt device. Absolutely minimal setup. But for 24-volt we would like to use 2 batteries. And most likely we would like to plug more than one device depending on the situation, whether we are using it in field or at home. And for that I'm going to be creating a distribution block. This is part that I've got from the Aliexpress, and I already started to do some work. I had to drill this hole, and it's going to be visually presenting like this. So the whole idea is that here we are going to be getting one input, and on the side we are going to be getting 2 beautiful output. And I think that's going to be looking pretty cool. You have to tell me. Of course we are going to be wiring it together. And for interconnecting our distribution block, I order from Germany this a very special wire. This is a German cloth. This is a speaker wire, 4 times 2.5 millimeter square. I'm searching for the name, and here you can see 4 times 2.5 millimeter square. Cloths in Germany, absolutely beautiful. Since our special cable is carrying 4 independent wires, at the distribution block we still got access to each of those batteries in the independent way. So we will be able to power 2 24-volt devices from any of those ports. We will be able to connect one 12-volt device, one 24-volt, or 2 12-volt, depending on the use case. There will be absolutely no possibility to make any mistake. If two plugs do not fit together, that means they are not compatible. But if it's going to be fitting, like the end device here on the distribution or directly here, it will work. Absolutely no questions asked. So this is the project that I'm currently working on. Of course, during our operation, we are going to be trying pretending to making it professional and a little bit looking like a real military deal. So I've got those heat shrink tubing that we will be printing on, and I believe we've got a chance to make a really something great. So yeah, that's going to be looking cool. If you enjoy idea of this project and you would like to see how it ended up, I highly recommend you to subscribe to stay in the loop. But for today, thank you very much for watching. I hope you find it interesting. See you next time and bye bye.